Hi there, I'm Dr. Bill Wyatt. I'm a board certified member of the American Orthodontic Society. I'm a general dentist, but I've been practicing orthodontics now for about soon be 45 years. And I want to talk to you a little bit about root resorption. Uh, this is an interesting topic here, and this young lady had a very odd thing happen. Uh, It'll be interesting to watch. Uh, this was back in, I think, about 1984. Uh, I'm going to run through this pretty quick. It was 12 of 84, I think, when we started, and she had an impacted cuspid over here on this side, and another impacted cuspid on the other side of the mouth, which I'm going to just show you with x-rays here in a minute. Now we lined everything up and we did the orthodontics, and that's not real dramatic, but the fact is that this tooth right here, this lateral on the right side of the mouth is rather remarkable, and this cuspid was up above it up in here, and we watched this till about, I think, 97. I've got some pictures on it then. So I'm going to run through it pretty quick. The regular orthodontics, we won't talk about it too much. Now she had this dead tooth when we started right here. This left central was dead, so she gets it crowned. It's discolored, and this is the tooth, though, that's rather dramatic. Just have to wait here a minute and I'll show you what we're talking about. But this is the case after we finished. It lined up and it stayed. I guess last I saw her, she still had that tooth. Okay, here's the left. I'm going to look at these x-rays like I'm inside. This will be the left side over here. Now this tooth was, of course, simple to bring down in here. Now the tooth beside it had the central over here, had to have a root canal done on it. Now this cuspid was up above this lateral, so we hooked on it and brought it down in here. And I told the parents, I said, you may lose this lateral. I didn't know whether it was going to survive or not. This was a baby tooth, of course, we took out up there and opened this again. And this was the first x-ray, and it was in 1984. I think I've got the writing on the x-ray backwards. So here the tooth is. It's in place, and kind of show the cuspid where it was impacted. Alright, here's the first same x-ray you saw just a minute ago. So we're going to drag this tooth down, and it looks like this tooth is absolutely gone, but it wasn't. It's an interesting case. We kind of joke with the audience on this case some. So this is the second x-ray. She's 15 years old. This is 11 of 84, and we're going to start moving this cuspid down, knowing that we may lose this lateral there. So here it is. We've got the teeth lined up, and we've got brackets on everything, and we hook onto this tooth and start to pull it down, and you think that tooth was gone. So at this point, she's 16 years old, and this is the fourth X-ray, and we're going to start pulling this tooth down into place. And as I pull it, I've got the bracket on it and everything, moving it down here. It absolutely looks like there's no root on that tooth. And at this time she's 17 years old. And so I told the mother we probably going to lose this tooth. But then I got to looking at it and I realized this tooth, if you look at this bracket on the tooth, it looks like a gun sight or something. So the tooth is actually laying down and this cuspid is moving over it. But I was joking with the audience in our classes when we lectured and showed this thing. I said, well, we put some of Dr. Wyatt's Root Restorer on this, and here is the next picture, the sixth picture. The tooth lined up in there. The root has come back. Now, all it did, that tooth was laying down, and we straightened it up. We got the cuspid out of the way, and then straightened it back up, and we have a kind of a pocket around it, but we handle that tooth with kid gloves. I finally ended up bonding a heavy wire from the central to the cuspid and on this tooth. And to my knowledge, she still had the tooth. In fact, over all my years working, I started dentistry in 1955 and I retired at 88. And I don't remember losing a single tooth during all that time from root resorption. But I had some cases that had lots of root resorption even before I started. And I'll show you some of them. But I don't remember ever after having one just come out because of the root resorbed, other than one that was knocked out, and then we did root canal, put it back in, it grew back, and it stayed for a year or two, and then it got to looking like it had little, like a rat or something was eating the side of the root, and it finally just ate it up and lost the tooth, and we had to come in and put a bridge back then. We didn't do the implants. Okay, there the tooth is, and I'm going to go through right quick and show you. And it looks like it's got a terrible pocket there, and they had to clean that with you can get a water pick or something to get up in there and loosen the stuff and keep it cleaned out. And the tooth, this was 1987, and that tooth is still there. I've got some pictures in 90, I believe it's 97. So this is after we've been finished for a while here. Still haven't put the 3 to 3 on the bottom. Okay, there some bigger pictures showing you the same thing. There's the cuspid. They're coming down over that lateral, and it looks like it's just moves the lateral out of the way. I think it moved it back, and it just lay down, and then I don't have anything between there. We brought it back up in place, but it's got a heck of a pocket up in here. I think that would go, but she kept it clean, and we were able to come back later, and we bonded that tooth to that. So I'm going to go through this in a pretty big hurry. Now that she had a root canal done on that central, put a crown on it, and the tooth is still there. That's it. This is the tooth right here that we're talking about. There it is in 87. The bottom we've got lined up. We'll put a, I don't know whether we put a 3 to 3 down there or not, but we're going to bond across where this tooth is. We're going to bond that to that and lift it. And they put a crown on this other one and it moves to some extent. Okay, we'll run that quickly. There's the crown, and we put a good retainer in there after we put the bonding stuff, and you put a bite plate on it to hold those lower teeth in place. Nothing runs across the occlusal surface of the teeth. And these wraparound retainers, they stay in great. Now the crown looks like it's out of position there to some extent. We must have worked on it. It's not lined up proper there. So we come in and straighten that out. And you can see the crown now is lined up good. The crown's a little thicker than the tooth was, so you have to watch, bump your lower end of your tooth down here and cause you to have a TMJ problem. That should be trimmed right in there. Now we bonded a heavy wire on that tooth, and she has to keep it flushed out, maybe with a water pick or some kind of little brush, and clean it, keep it as clean as possible. And this is 1997. Now that's 10 years after we finished. After we got the case finished. There's 97. The bottoms, see that bottom top tooth touched that crown and pushed it back. So that was the mistake. Should have trimmed the crown or done something. But this crown is thicker than the tooth, and so it's pushing that tooth back right there. And this is just takes it on to the end. That's where the tooth was. And that's the end of that case, but it's the most interesting. X-rays can mislead you sometimes in cases like that. So anyway, but don't give up on the tooth. Put it in place, and if it's got any root up in the tissue, and bond it to something. If you can keep it clean, it may last for years and years. That's from 84 to 97. That's the last picture I've got. So I'm going to close this out right now.